If you want to have your financial house in order, you got to have a plan. And in this video, I'm going to give you the questions that you need to ask before you do anything else. You got these people out there that will tell you buy this and buy that and do this, but why not assess your personal circumstances before anything else? And that's what I'll get into here. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Very first thing, what is my current financial situation? Ask that question and actually get a pen and a paper and write these things down because you need to understand this. Do you have your own budget already? Do you have all of your stuff written down somewhere? Take that out and start to actually analyze it. Look, do you have any debt? Do you have any debt at all? Credit cards, mortgages, student loans, and so on. Write that all down. And what kind of debt is it? Make sure you know, and make sure you know how much. Any interest rates that are associated with that. What am I doing about it? So I've got the payments listed there as well. Okay, this is a monthly payment. This is going on. This is the interest rate, all these things. You write that down. Now you have an assessment of where you are. You got to also include your income. What is my current income? And how has it been over the last little while? Have they been giving me raises? Or am I kind of stuck in this zone? Do I have the power to advance in my position? Or is this not really the situation that's probably so good for me in the next few years? All of these questions need to be answered by you, but once we know where we first are, well then we can get to the next step. The Mayan compass. Have you ever seen the Mayan compass? It doesn't have just the north, south, east, west. It's actually got one in the middle. And that's where you are because you don't know what direction you want to head until you understand where you are. That's the first thing. What investments do I currently have? These are the things that, you might just have a little bit here or there, but that needs to be included. Your investments, you got your asset classes. Number one, what asset class is it? Is it paper asset? Is it your 401k? Is it your RRSP? Or is it maybe a piece of real estate that you had? Is it land? All these things, okay? The asset classes and the amounts. Write all of those down, okay? We're getting a handle of where we are at. Then we have to understand what are our financial goals. Do you want maximum appreciation? Do you want wealth preservation? These are two very different goals. And when you see the influencers out there, they tell you buy this, buy that, do this, sell this. How could they ever, without talking to you, how could they ever give you that financial advice? That is terrible. You should be offended by that because they don't even know you. And so that's why when I work with people, I always first get those first assessments before I'm ever going to give any advice. I say, you know what, you got to own gold. That's just the way it is. Well, it depends on what you want. If you want cash flow, you shouldn't be buying gold. It's not going to give you any cash flow. Okay? So these are the things you got to start asking. And if the person you're working with doesn't ask that question, well, then there's a real big problem, right? When I had my first investment, when I was 14, I went to the bank, just like most people would, and I said, I have this amount of money. I think it was something like $800. I had $800. I felt so rich. And I was told, you got to go to the bank and you got to invest it in a mutual fund. And so I went to the gentleman, the financial advisor, and I said, I want to invest this. I want something that's safe and sound, but that will grow over time. I'm not going to take it out. I'm not going to sell. I'm going to keep it there for many years. So he said, what's your risk tolerance? I said, I don't really know. He said, it doesn't matter. And he typed in his computer a couple of things. He's clicking on a few things. I don't know what he typed in there, but anyway, it did, increase over a period of years. It did, certainly, but I ended up selling it off for some real assets at a later date when I had the financial education that I needed. But the point here is, he was kind of trying to ask me some questions, but ultimately it didn't matter. Click, click, click. Here's what you're going to invest in. That's not where you want your money. You got to take initiative. And if you don't, you got to seek out a mentor who's going to help you along that way. Very important stuff, okay? What steps are you taking towards your goals today, right now? Are you investing regularly? Are you do a dollar cost averaging? A lot of people I know, they get their paycheck, their employer will match it, so they put into some investment that they have no idea what it is. We got working more hours, perhaps. Maybe you're working overtime, maybe you're working a second job. You're taking all of that money and then you're putting that into your investments. Many people are kind of just sitting around doing nothing. They're just working their 9 to 5. They get home and they do nothing else. And that money, they find, well, how did it disappear? It's because they don't have a handle on their investments, their income, and their debt. If you can figure these three things out, you're going to be able to get a much better outcome. Okay? But if you don't, how can you ever expect something better? How can you improve yourself? That's the next question. Because you got to be learning new skills. You got to get a raise if you can, if you're in your position. You got to get that bonus, whatever it is. You got to start a side hustle, some way that you're going to be able to make more income. That's part of the pillars of prosperity. It's about actually being able to bring in additional income, through one means or another. Maybe you say, no, my employer, absolutely not. I tried. They haven't given me raises, not going to give me a bonus, this and that. I'm stuck. So then you get home at the end of the night and you figure out a way to bring in some more income. These are things that I'm talking about extensively, but for the purpose of this video, it could be anything. Some people do, Uber and Uber Eats and all these things because it's simple, it's straightforward, and they could do it when they want. There are many other things you could be doing. The point here is we increase our income so that we have more to invest. But if we don't ask the questions in the first place, we're never going to know where we are and where we need to be. I hope this financial education was something you appreciate. If you did, don't forget to share this with somebody who you think could use it. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.